Hey everyone, welcome back to Life as a Canadian Immigrant. In today's video, we will be talking about the step-by-step process involved in applying for your Canadian citizenship. So you're a Canadian permanent resident now and you want to apply for your Canadian citizenship, but you do not know where to start. Fret not, I've got you. Just watch this video to the end and you will see how simple the entire application process is. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you will never miss out on our informative content. Okay, the first thing you want to do is to check your eligibility. In order to apply for Canadian citizenship, you must be a permanent resident. So you have to first be a permanent resident before you can apply for Canadian citizenship. You must have lived in Canada for 3 out of the last 5 years and have filed your taxes during that time. If you're between the ages of 18 and 54, you must also have adequate knowledge of English or French, and you must pass a Canadian citizenship test. If you're younger than 18 or older than 54, then you do not need to prove that you have adequate knowledge of English or French, and you do not need to do the citizenship test. So you're exempted from that. So that is good. After meeting these requirements, you will be invited to take the oath of citizenship and you'll become a Canadian citizen. Simple process, right? But now we'll go into details about each step in the process. Most applicants can now apply online. You can either apply online or via mail, where you print off all your documents, attach your supporting documents, and mail it to one of these 2 addresses shown here. The first thing that you need to do is to check that you've been in Canada for more than 1,095 days. That works out to 3 years within the last 5 years. You do this by going on the online physical presence calculator. I'll put the link to this website in the description below, or you can just go on Google and type in online physical presence calculator Canada and you can go to the website. Once you go on the website, you will answer a few questions about when you became a permanent resident and all the times you spent in and out of Canada within the last 5 years. You will also need to use your email address and create an account. And once you answer all the questions, you will get your online physical presence calculator, and that will tell you how many days you've been in Canada. You will need to keep this document as you will need to attach it to the application. What is important to note here is that only the 5 years immediately leading up to the date of your application will be taken into account. For each day that you are a student or refugee or any other authorized temporary resident in Canada, that will be counted as half day, up to a maximum of 365 days. So what that means is that you need to be a Canadian permanent resident for at least 2 years before you can apply for your citizenship. Each day that you're physically present in Canada after becoming a permanent resident is counted as 1 day. Any time spent in prison during this time is not counted towards your physical presence. Now that we've determined that we've been in Canada for more than 3 years within the last 5 years and we've filed our taxes, we can now go ahead and complete the application form and gather our supporting documents. Now let's go through each document on the checklist here. So the first one is the application form. You'll need to complete it and validate it so that the barcodes are generated. Then you'll need to print it and sign it with your handwritten signature. Place the barcode page on the top of your application. You will also need your online physical presence calculator that we spoke about earlier to determine the amount of days you've been in Canada. You will need color photocopy of all pages of your passport or travel document. So not only the biographical page, but every page that has a stamp. When I was doing it, I just copied the entire passport. You will also need photocopy of the proof that demonstrates that you have adequate knowledge in English or French if you are between the ages of 18 or 54 years of age. This proof could be your high school diploma or any other qualification from back home if it was done in English or French. It could be if you have completed any courses here in Canada, then you could use a certificate for that. Or the government also offers some free courses that you can take and use a certificate as proof. You will also need a photocopy of 2 personal identification documents. The copy of the biographical page of your passport can be used as one, and then you need another one that has your name, photo, and date of birth. You will need 2 identical citizenship photos. They can be taken at any Shoppers Drug Mart or any other photo studio. Once you tell them that you're taking it for the citizenship application, they'll know the specification. Or you could just print off the specification and bring it just in case. You will also need the fee receipt to show that you've paid your fees. The cost for the Canadian citizenship, the total cost is $630 for an adult and $100 for each child. You will also need to attach this document checklist with everything ticked off that's in the package. I'll put a copy of the checklist in the description box below, but you'll get your own checklist when you're doing your application. You may need additional documents based on your situation. I did not require any of these documents when I was doing it, but if you use a representative, then you need to attach that form. If your police certificate is required, you need to attach that as well. If you had a name change or gender change, you will need to attach proof of that as well. And if your documents are not in English or French, you will need translations. So depending on your situation, you may require these documents. These are all the supporting documents that you'll need to attach to your application. Once your application is received and reviewed and all your supporting documents are present, you will receive an acknowledgement of receipt email. In that email, you will also receive the Canadian study guide for you to use to study for your citizenship test. Few weeks later or months, depending on your application, you will receive an invitation to complete the citizenship test if you are between the ages of 18 and 54. The test is not hard. You will get 20 multiple choice questions and you need to get at least 15 questions correct in order to pass. You will be asked about Canadian history. You'll be asked about the responsibilities of a Canadian citizen. You need to watch as many videos as you can on YouTube, do as many practice quizzes as you can, and read the study guide, and you should be good. Once you pass the test, you will be invited to your swearing-in ceremony where you will sign the oath of citizenship. Our ceremony was done online, but I know now they are doing some ceremonies in person, but they will let you know via email if it's in person or online. During the swearing-in ceremony, you and your family members will cut up your PR card in front of an employee. You will sing the national anthem. You do not need to know this word for word, and you'll watch videos about Canadian culture. Your ceremony is done online. You will need to sign the oath of citizenship and send a digital copy via email to IRCC. They will direct you on how to do that. And within a few weeks, you will receive your certificate of Canadian citizenship. Yay! And once you get that certificate, you can go ahead and apply for your passport at any Service Canada office. The processing times may vary, so be patient and stay informed about your application status. A friend of mine just did his application and the entire process took him 6 months. When I did it, it took me over a year because it was during COVID time and there was a backlog then. But the process is going faster now. 6 months. Within 6 months, you could be a Canadian citizen if you start the process right now. So go ahead, start your application process. Thank you so much for watching this video and give us a thumbs up if you enjoy this content. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, you can do that right now. Thank you so much for your support. See you next time.